He's the healer and deliverer. Mark chapter 7 verse 24 to 37, and from there he went into Greece. And then he went on to the coast of Phoenicia. And then he went on to the border of Tyre. And then he went on to the coast of Sidon. And then he entered into a certain woman's house. And his disciples did not want anyone to know where he was, so he tried to hide himself from the people. But he could not stay in hiding for too long, because there was a certain woman who was sycophantically praising Elu'hymn, so that he could deliver her young daughter, because her daughter was possessed with an unclean spirit. And when she learned where Elu'hymn was, she came to the house where he was, and she fell down at his feet, and sycophantically began praising Elu'hymn. And this woman was a Grecian, and she was sycophantically praising Elu'hymn. And she besought Elu'hymn that he would cast out the devil from out of her daughter, because her daughter was possessed. And she was also suffering from schizophrenia. And she was also hearing voices, even when the evil spirit from God or the spell of juju came upon her. And then he said to the woman, "Let the children of Israel first be filled, because it is not good to take the children of Israel bread away, and to cast it to the dogs." And she answered and said to Elu'hymn, "Okay. But yet the dogs that are under the table are begging for the crumbs from their master's table. And even so would I be willing to eat the bread crumbs that falls off the table on the floor, and even so would I be happy to eat the crumbs which are left over from the children of Israel table." And then he said unto her, "Because of your persistency, and also because of this that you are saying, you go on your way, the devil is now gone out of thy daughter." And when she went back to her house, she found that the devil had gone out of her daughter, and that her daughter was now laying up in her own bed. From that time on, when he said that her daughter was delivered from demon possession, and also she was delivered from her schizophrenia. And after that she went back and forth to find to say thank you. And after that he again departed from there. And he sailed past the coasts of Tyre. And then he sailed through the midst of the coasts of Decapolis. And then he sailed into the Ethiopian Sea. And then he and his disciples sailed in the Sea of Galilee, before sailing on to Ephrata, which is better known as Ethiopia today. And while they were still in Galilee, his disciples beseech asking if they could bring along someone whom was deaf on board the ship. And when they had arrived in Ephrata, there was also someone there whom was dumb, and whom had a speech impediment, and whom was waiting to be healed by Elu'hymn. And after they had beseeched, then they asked Elu'hymn if he would heal both of them. So they put their hand upon them. And then they brought them both to Elu'hymn. And then he took them to the other side of the ship, and away from the multitude, and then he placed his fingers into both of their ears. And then he asked that they both be seated. And then he began to touch them by their mouths. And then they both began to look up at Elu'hymn. And then they look up into his heaven. And then he sighed. And then he said to them, "Opened up your mouths." And then he began to touch their tongues. And then he said to both of them, to both the men whom were dumb and deaf, "Ears be opened." And then he said to the one whom was dumb, and to him whom had a speech impediment, "Tongue be loosen." And straightway their ears were opened, and then also the string of their tongues were loosened. And then they both began to speak plainly. And then he charged them that they should not go and tell everyone who had healed them. But the more that Elu'hymn charged them not to publish it, so much so that the more did they went and they told it to a great number of the people, and even to those whom were there, and whom had witnessed the miracle, which he had performed upon the men that were both dumb and deaf. And that it was he whom was Elu'hymn, whom had worked such a great miracle for both of them. When he had healed both the deaf, and the dumb man, and whom had a speech impediment, and whom were all being healed by E. And when both of them were being made to speak plainly, and when E. had charged them not to publish it, then they began to make a great deal more about it. And even the other people them began to publish their healing abroad, which was about the miraculous healing of these two men. And many were astonished, by these miracles that was done by E. And many were in awe of E, and more so beyond measure. And they were saying, E's the odd. And that E. have done all things well. And that E. have healed these men, and even both at the same time, both the deaf and the dumb. And that E. have made both of them to hear, and that E. has caused both the deaf and the dumb to speak. Thank you. Friends, E. is truly the Creator. And E. is also the odd. And E. is the mighty healer. And E. is able to deliver all those whom are depressed by Shaitan. And E. is also able to deliver all those whom are possessed by the evil spirits of Shaitan. And even all those who are troubled by the evil spirit of Juju. And even from the many evil spirits which are also called demons. Friends, Elu'hymn can even save us and also deliver all of us from all evil. And even from demon possession, and also from the depression of Shaitan. And from all of his evil spirits. And even from all of the evil wiles of God and Jesus. Friends, for more information about E and about Elu'hymn and Elu'hymn E, whom is called the Holy One. And the Almighty E. And whose name alone is named Holy E. Friend, would you now please visit my YouTube channel and also my Rumble channel? Thank you. Friends, would you please also subscribe to my channels, to receive my latest messages? Thank you. And would you now please check out this message which is called He's the real Messiah. Please click here for my message. Please click here to visit my Rumble channel, the end.